What is up, my veggies? My name is VTR and welcome back to another movie review. And today we're going to be reviewing the next Scooby-Doo movie, which is Scooby-Doo and Batman the Brave and the Bold. Okay, full-on disclaimer. I don't remember who distributed this, DC or Hanna-Barbera. I'm guessing both, but don't quote me on that. I don't really know. And also, I've only seen a little bit of Batman the Brave and the Bold. It's never been my favorite Batman animated series. Personally, the Batman animated series and The Batman are two better shows than that show. I know Batman the Brave and the Bold has a good following, but it was just never my thing. Like, I don't hate it, but like I just guess it's the betrayal of Batman in that I'm not the biggest fan of. But after watching this, it makes me want to go back and actually watch that show, maybe give it a second chance. I haven't watched that show in years, so maybe want to give that show a second chance now after watching this. Because it came out back in the day when I was younger, and I wasn't really big on the superhero craze, but I was still into it. That makes sense. And I remember catching a few episodes back when I was little and enjoying that. Okay, so what's the plot of this movie? So basically, the gang team up with Batman and a few other characters from that show, and they join the Gotham Mystery Agency or something like that, and they wind up going to solve Batman's only unsolved case. And that's all I can say without giving out spoilers. First thing I want to say, one thing that surprised me is that this is actually in the style of Batman the Brave and the Bold. And I will give props. There's actually the intro to this movie is actually the intro to the episodes of Batman the Brave and the Bold, just with the Scooby-Doo characters implemented, and it feels very natural. These characters fit here so strangely, but it's weird seeing them a little bit in the Brave and the Bold style, and I can tell they were kind of also, with some of the writing, and they're going for classic Scooby-Doo, and there's like classic Scooby-Doo, like old school, like back in the 60s, 70s, around that era, like late 60s, early 70s, Scooby-Doo or RU territory, basically. And it was really, really, really interesting to see what they were doing with this concept. And it worked, surprisingly. And coming off the last Scooby-Doo movie, I needed a win. Definitely needed a battle. I don't know if these are going to be included in VTR's Creepy Frights as of recording them, because they do fit, but at the same time they don't. So I don't know if I should include them, but I might. I don't know yet. If you saw the intro before this, you know. If you didn't, well, what I'm saying makes no sense. But this one did really well of like, and it's very well balanced between doing Batman stuff and Scooby-Doo stuff, which is really interesting. And it's actually a really good thing of fan service around the end and the third act that I really, really liked. I don't want to give it away. I want people to see it themselves. And yeah, like usually the ones that I think are gonna be bad turn out to be the ones that are gonna be good. Like legit, I thought this one was gonna be terrible. In retrospect, I thought it was going to seem too cheesy and just too generic. Now, some of the things I was expecting to happen happened, but don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it. It was fun. It was funny. It had its moments, definitely. The mystery is actually interesting, but as soon as you get some stuff figured out, you find out who's doing it and who's behind it. It's because as soon as you see one thing start to happen, it just clicks with you. And when it gets revealed, like they're still trying not to show it to you, but like having prior knowledge to the universe that it's from it helps. Now there are some good jokes in this. I'm not gonna lie. Like Martian Manhunter is in this, and it's freaking hilarious. Some of his scenes. Plastic Man's here, and from what I remember, he acts just the way like he did in Batman the Brave and the Bold. And I was surprised to see that they brought a lot of the voice cast back from that show. I know Black Canary was in this show as well. It was in this at least. Aquaman is in this for just comedic relief, which I think really works. And I thought Aquaman only controlled. I don't know. I'm not gonna get into all that. But yeah, this is a thing because this is not Batman. This is not Scooby-Doo and Batman's first crossover. They did it with back in the new Scooby-Doo movies or something like that. It was one of those things back then. And it wasn't, and this wouldn't be the last time because they also did a crossover on the new Scooby-Doo show, Scooby-Doo and Guess Who. Batman was in an episode of that, so that was extremely interesting to see. Like that's what's going on currently. The animation it looks a little stiff sometimes, but for the most part, I think that was a problem with the original Batman Brave and the Bold show. So I'm not gonna criticize that too much. But yeah, this has its fun moments. Now, if I have any negativity, I'd say some stuff feels it doesn't do good at like if you're not familiar with Batman's universe and stuff, it doesn't really give you the best way to it just throws you in like you know this world. And sometimes some of the Scooby-Doo stuff and Batman stuff does not collide well, really, sometimes. Which is a little disappointing, but some stuff that you wouldn't think fit what you wouldn't think would fit, it fits. And it's interesting to see like Scooby and Shaggy running. There's a scene in this where Scooby and Shaggy, let's say, goes up against some villains, and they are being chased by villains from instead of Batman's villains instead of crap, I'm blanking. Instead of monsters, which is really nice and really interesting. I will tell you, Tara Strong's Harley Quinn is in this. I was like, as soon as I heard her voice, I was like, she's not a big role or anything. It's not really important to the plot, but it's one for them. It's like straight up. As soon as I heard that voice, I'm like, Tara Strong, and you guys know how I feel. I love Tara Strong. And it was just really cool to see a lot of these characters in a situation that you wouldn't usually expect. It's really it's decently animated. Like I said, I'm not the hugest fan of the Batman the Brave and the Bold, the art style or the show itself. But for what this does and adds, it's really cool seeing these characters together. And it's not like with the WWE crossover or the Kiss crossover. This actually feels like it kind of makes sense. Unlike those crossovers where they're out of the blue and just random. Like, don't get me wrong, those movies were alright as well, but this one just, it feels right. So I guess I'll go ahead and give it a solid 3.5. I don't want to give it a 4 because I feel like I give too many of these movies 4s. But I feel like it deserves a 4, but I don't need to give it a 4. So I feel like I'm going to give it a very, very high 3.5. I enjoyed it. It was fun. It had its problems, yes. But for what this was, it was very, very fun. If you guys seen it, I'd love to hear what you guys thought of it. Are you a fan of Batman, the Brave and the Bold? And if you were, did this movie do it justice? It's really cool to see this, and I'd love to see another Scooby-Doo Batman movie, but they maybe cross over with a different type of Batman, maybe a more gritty Batman. That'd be cool. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. Next one, oh, I'm not looking forward to reviewing this next one. Yeah.